a lot of people don't really realize that there's a set of people that hasn't had a voice. You know, out here, that's the deportees.
Yeah.
Like, I'm the voice and the face of that. I don't have a problem with that.
Right.
Because when I got deported, there was a stigma associated with being a deportee.
Yeah.
And I felt that it's my duty to shift that. Change that. I feel I already killed that. That's the part you remember when I told you every time you hear my name after you're gonna think about Jamaica. There's some things I gotta kill in this world. Right. That's why I'm the Jamaican assassin.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Hence the name Jakal.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I had to kill.
Yeah.
It was like there was looking at a deportee, the stigma with that would be like comparable to somebody got leprosy. You know what I mean? Like you whisper that. Yo, everybody's back on vacation, or they just returned, or right. It was a shame with that, and I never understood that, and I had to show everybody that was just a part of the system confusing us and separating us.
And that's a bold move by you, because you actually have the name, the Deportee.
Oh yeah. I made my album that. I made my first album, Deported.
You're actually putting it out there, putting it in them face.
Yeah, I'm not running from that. I'm not ashamed of that. And that's why I say, like, I have some duties, man. You know, outside of myself, and killing that negative stigma on Deportee. That was one of the first ones that had to be done, and that's why I attacked it so aggressively and bold.
Yeah.
You know, and I still am.
The money like a ladder when I stack it up. Me nah give up, me I continue fight till mission accomplished. Still up on the grind, yo, me still a tough it out, me never born rich. Me look to the sky, me soon start fly, I feel it, I know. I do. To new heights we rising. Okay. Me nah give up, me I continue fight till mission accomplished.
So
when you leave Jamaica.
Yeah, when you leave Jamaica, and Jamaicans don't really consider you a Jamaican no more.
Right.
You're a foreigner now. When you reach wherever you're going, they don't consider you whatever. Like, let's say you go to Canada. The Canadians don't consider you Canadian.
No.
You're an alien. So that class right there has never had a voice.
It's stuck in the middle.
And I realized that because I was that. I believe, like, a lot of people use me or draw motivation from me because when they hear this story, you know what I mean? Like, the average deportee, the average person that get deported and return to Jamaica, they return to a family or to a friend or someplace to stay, even for the first week or so. You know what I mean? Like, I had to find somewhere to rent that night.
Okay.
So, like, I didn't come off the plane and get a plate of food and burn this, you know what I mean? So
family member come pick you up.
None of that. They took me to camp, and they wouldn't let me out because I didn't have an address to go. I didn't have any phone number for any family member here, so they thought I was just trying to slip away. I had to wait for them to go on lunch and sneak out. When I got to the gate, right now, if you go every last Thursday at camp, you're gonna see some prostitutes out front because they know a bus of deportees is coming.
Oh, dude.
You know what I mean? And when I went out to the front, I didn't know where I was at. And I seen one of the chicks. I was like, yo, I'll give you $20 for a phone call. Call me a cab.
Yeah.
I paid her for a phone call, not having nobody to call.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? And she called one of her taxi friends. and I paid him $20 to take me to Portmore Mall. Because when I was in prison, I used to get the Star.
Yeah.
And the only mall I ever heard of was Portmore Mall that they wrote up. Everything else was a plaza.
Yeah.
And one thing I know about with malls is they have a bulletin board. Lost dog, apartments for rent, da-da-da-da-da. And I needed a place to rent. So that's how I ended up in Portmore. You know what I mean? So when I tell my story, even a deportee that got deported and is mad that he got deported have to look within him or herself and say, but yo, I don't got to worry about no rent, or I could get a free meal, or you know what I mean? Like my story didn't go like that. Like I really kind of probably shifted my thing in this direction.
Change gear.
You feel me? Man. So and that's what's happening.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're on the front line with that. And because I had that experience of returning and not having nowhere to go, now I'm going to be clear. I have relatives here.
I was just about to ask you, what happened to your family?
No, I have relatives here. A lot, too. But this is me. If you notice, I wouldn't even say that. I just don't know them. I left when I was 10, 11.
Yeah.
Didn't see them for when I'm 28 now. I don't know you.
Right.
I don't know you. I don't know what you're into. I don't know what's your lifestyle. I don't know who's trying to kill you. I don't know. Like, I already got a lot on my plate right now.
So what I laying for yourself.
Yeah. You know, and right now, they look at me away, my family, because they feel like my mom said, she called me one time and was like, yo, you know, why you be saying that you slept on the floor when you first got deported? Like, you know, your family, they feel a way about that. Mm-hmm. And I never really looked at it from that point, from their angle. I just didn't know them. Right, so I didn't feel comfortable being in their presence. That's how I am. Yeah. I had to figure out my situation, and I'm still figuring it out. You know what I mean? So, yeah, so be clear about that part.
Yeah, man.
You know? So, yeah, because I had that experience of going through that, my mission, like I have a program that I want to start called NBTH. NBTH. New Beginning Transitional Housing. Okay. Right? And I want to talk to Andrew Holness because I feel like he's the one that could make that happen the real way. Okay. NBTH, New Beginning Transitional Housing, will be an organization or an umbrella that every returning resident has access to off the plane. Like, I want it to be the officers that intercept the deportees and take you from whatever officers that's bringing you from wherever.
Right.
They got little pamphlets like, yo, welcome home, here. And on that pamphlet, NBTH, there's a number to call to get your TRN, because we're all returning with none of this.
Right.
And we don't even know what this is. You feel me?
Right.
TRN, this is the equivalent of a social security number. So they're like, oh, okay, that's what that is. Oh, all right. Housing. These are places where if you need a place to stay, whether you just want a night to take it in, how long you been here. All right, here, you could call this number, or you could go over here to this. I want, like, that's why I want to talk to Andrew, because I just want a dilapidated building. I don't want nothing else. I just want him to give me a building.
So you're gonna fix stuff? You're gonna develop it, or get somebody to do it?
No, what I plan on doing, bro, is literally, because it's a non-profit, like, I plan to go to courts. Yo, this is what we're doing. I would love if you could donate some furniture. It don't have to be brand new. I'm a musician. You know, I know almost every artist. Yo, bro, give me a bed, give me a chair, a lamp, a TV, until this place is like fully, it's working. Where somebody could get deported with not a dollar in their pocket. And another thing that people not talking about, every person that gets deported, whatever country they're getting deported from, that country gives them money. But Jamaica government don't give us the money. I didn't get no money when I came here.
Yeah.
And I only heard of one person that got some money, and he came from England. Nobody that got deported from America ever got no money when we got here. You know, we gonna be clear about that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know what they do with the money, but American government say they giving each deportee money. The British government saying they giving each deportee money, but the deportees is coming out in the streets barefooted with a clear plastic bag with their belongings. You know, so I don't even want to worry about what's happening with that money.
Yeah.
What I want is for our Prime Minister Andrew Holness to just give me a dilapidated building. You know what I mean? Make it something of size though, somewhere in a general area where it's easily accessible.
Right.
And I know everything that needs to be in it. I'll accept all that responsibility. I already thought of food. Why are we getting food? Tasties, KFC, all these people, they have to throw away this food at nights. They have to. Else they breaking some kind of rules. Again, I don't want to dip into what they doing. Just give me whatever y'all don't sell at the end of the day. Y'all gonna throw it away anyway. It's for a good cause. And I'm sure if Andrew Holness is involved, they could get a tax write-off for that as well. So that could be an incentive because it's a non-profit. Okay. You know what I mean? I feel like I won't rest. I won't be able to sleep well at nights knowing that until I accomplish that. I need a program to be in place that when citizens return, because if we wasn't citizens, they couldn't send us back.
Right.
So let's be clear about that. When citizens return, they have options.
Yeah.
They have assistance in a way that says, we have these school programs if you want to further your education. We have this empty land up there if you want to start a farm.
Right.
We have this boats with some holes in it, but you could plug the holes and become a fisherman. I'm not asking to say, a person get deported and go put him as a bank manager or go put her as a school principal. Nah, because we're not saints, you know what I mean? But as long as there's an option. Now, when a person refuses that option now, then whatever happens, happens. This is just for the people who want to utilize these options, because I know some people sitting in jail like, yeah, when I get home, I just need some more, whatever. But then you have some people who are like, yo, when I get home, I really want to find a girl, start a family, and blah, 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 la, la, la.
Yeah, look at life different.
Yeah, and a lot of that is not happening because people get deported and they lock in their house because the stigma of being... Let me tell you what happens with a deportee. You get deported, there's already a shame and a stigma for most people. Mm-hmm. Me, that wasn't existent. I'm a little different. I don't do things that I'm ashamed of. Anything that happened as a result of my actions, I'm alright with that. Yeah. For real. You know what I mean? But you do have people who do things and they feel ashamed about it after. So you have someone who commits a crime, society deems a penalty,
right? They
fulfill that penalty, right? So it should be an even slate, but that's not the case. Cool. You get sent home now, and there's a stigma attached to you. So what they do is they lock in their house. Their family bleed their money out of them, the little bit of money that they got.
Yeah.
In a month or two, they have nothing because they're calling people overseas, getting whatever little bit of dollar, and the family out here is bleeding it from them.
Right.
They have no source of income because there's no work. They're ashamed because they're a deportee. That's why I had to kill that stigma.
Yeah.
Right? So 4 or 5 months after returning, you have someone that's now criminal thinking because the same family that's bleeding you is calling you worthless and every other name, and then deportee as the icing on top of the cake. So now that person is criminal thinking. You don't want to do it, but if you have to kill the goat to eat, you're gonna kill the goat to eat, bro.
As you say, they don't have many options.
And then when you don't have no options, you go right to what you know. You return. That's why the recidivism rate is so high. Because if there's no other option, you're gonna go to what you know. Once the mind expands, it'll never contract. Can't. So NBTH can expand a person's mind. If they're open to the expansion.
Right.
Everybody won't be open to it. It's not going to save everybody. Cops don't prevent every crime. Fire trucks don't stop every house from burning down. But they're still there because they help.
Yeah, man.
You know what I mean? So, I hope Andrew Holness could hear this. You know what I mean? And
somebody at the Prime Minister, no?
Yeah, man. You know,
one important message.
It's bigger than me. It's bigger than me. I don't want a trophy to say, yo, you started NBTH. My trophy going forward from other things: sneakers, music, movies when I get into it, books when I reveal that side of me, a lot of other things. This is like my human duty.
Yeah.
Because like I've really experienced that and I know what it can do.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, bro, it's because I felt like doing what I'm doing. Think about it, right? However difficult, like a lot of people all the time always be like, yo, I don't know how you did it, like to be where you at right now, right? And I say, just think if I decided to put that energy in a negative way. All of the stuff that's already happening, if I'd have fell in line and decided like, yo, this is what we're gonna do, we're gonna build a little army out here, and we're gonna take over a little piece of turf, and we're gonna get the government some trouble. It should be fair to say that I would have caused some problems. Because if I could do this, that's impossible. Right? I could at least covered some grounds over there with the stuff that's already happening.
Straightforward.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
The stuff's already there, bro. So all I would have to do is fall in line, step on a few throats, and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just and all that is because of a little expansion, bro, from a book. You know what I mean? That I stumbled on. Yeah. Now, somebody giving me a pamphlet saying, yo, welcome home, bro. Oh, yo, dog, yeah. Corona, all right, sorry, don't touch me. Here goes this pamphlet over there.
Yeah, that's like a world of difference, man.
Because a person actually feels, they don't feel rejected.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's where a lot of problems come from, bro, and we don't even know.
You have a lot of rappers who actually, they have done time.
Like myself.
Right.
Right.
Do you think that adds, to the whole street cred, how they perceive you?
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
Jail is not supposed to be a cool thing. It's not cool. No one in prison is sitting there like, yo, yeah, extend my stay. Everybody in prison wants to be on the other side of the world, the free side. So it can't be nothing cool about that. That's a punishment that the system designs when you go out of bounds or when you slip up going out of bounds and get caught. So I can't glorify it. I can't say you're supposed to get no street cred from that because it's a mistake that landed me in prison. I got caught. I didn't do what I was doing and intend to get caught.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I don't think anyone does that. Probably a few, but I've never met none of them.
Right.
Because you got to be real. It's probably a few. Every different minds make this world beautiful. Everybody thinks different. But me, I never woke up and said, yeah, today's jail day. Never. And I never will. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that ain't nothing to be celebrated. And if you want to give me some street cred for that, man, shame on you. You know what I mean? That's a mistake. And it cost me 10 years out of my life that I'm trying to make up for now.
Yeah.
And everybody else that did time feels the same way, whether they admit it or not.
Yeah,
It's a setback in a lot of ways. If you're smart, I believe you could utilize the time to make yourself better. I think I did.
I was just about to ask you, how has that actually changed your life?
It didn't initially change it. It made me worse. That's what prison does. Because it puts you around more people like you, people who are better at whatever the system caught you for doing.
Right.
So prison is a criminal college. It's the highest institution and that's why they're called institutions, bro.
Yeah.
It's only 3 types of institutions in the world: educational institutions, penitentiary institutions, and medical institutions. You got financial institutions and all that type of stuff, but those don't count. Those are banks.
Those are your 3 major
institutions. Those are the only places you could go to learn. This is system institution. You go to a hospital to learn how to get better. You go to an educational, to some institution to learn how to be better as a person. Mm-hmm. And the intent with prison is to become better as well, to reform. That's why they have to include the word institution at the end of it. But the type of people that you're trying to make better, if I don't want to be better, you can't make me better.
Some of them don't want to be better.
Right, and then in the process of that, I have a lot of time on my hand to think about how to become better at whatever it is I feel I should be pursuing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So initially it didn't make me better. It just, I wanted to sit down and figure out. I went to jail 3 times, bro. The 10 years that I did, it wasn't 10 straight years. I did 1 year, came home, then did 3 years,
came home to Jamaica?
Nah.
Okay.
I've only been deported once, but got released into American society again.
Right.
You know, so it ain't. I didn't learn till I was ready to learn. It's not even, I won't even use the word learn, because prison don't change you. You have to want to change. Yeah. It was just me looking at it. I read a book, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I got in trouble and something happened on the visit floor. While I was on a visit, something happened on the visit floor, and pending investigation, I was locked in my cell for about 4 days waiting, basically going to court while in jail. Yeah. So I wouldn't cell confinement, keep lock, restriction, whatever you want to call it, right?
Yeah.
And in the process of that, in those 3 or 4 days, I read everything that was in, like, all my magazines. I started reading my celly's stuff. Yeah. And he had a book on the desk that was sitting there for like a year. I walked past the book every single day, pushed it out the way for about a year.
Yeah.
And one day I was bored. It was nothing on the radio. And I picked it up. It was a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Yeah.
And that very instant, my life changed. Because I opened the book and the very first thing in there is a story called Acres of Diamonds. You know what I mean? And he's telling a story about this guy in Africa that he's digging. He has a piece of land and he's digging in hopes of finding diamonds.
Right.
Because that's like every land around him, everybody's digging and finding diamonds. You know what I mean? And he's digging. I think like 20 years, don't find nothing, and sold his land. And took the money and went and bought a piece of land from somebody else who had property with diamonds on there. You know what I mean? Now the person who he sold his land to dug, and probably like 3 days later found the biggest diamond in African history. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that right there, like I never read nothing like that before. Like nothing never really played around in my mind like that. And it just made me want to see what else was in this book. And I ended up having to beat my celly up for the book. Because he now, all of a sudden, none of us was reading the book.
Right.
And now that he see me reading the book, he wants the book. Yo, yeah, you can see I had highlighted such and such. He did. He read like 10 pages out of it. But it been sitting there for a year and I never seen him with it. You know what I mean? And then as soon as you see me with it, now you want it. And
that's a good one.
That's why I told you that book changed my life in every single way possible. You know what I mean? Because it's like a combination of stories.
Right.
And every story is like, it's Oprah. They start you off where she's at. And then they rewind and you see, oh, this girl was an orphan, she was molested, she went through that, and then became that. The next story I think was Don King, you know what I mean? And he was like in Chicago, little kid. I don't remember the story clearly, but it's like he used to run numbers, ended up going to jail, and that's how he started promoting boxing. So it was like every story in there was from nothing to something, but what I liked about the way the author wrote the book is that every from nothing to something, their nothing was worse than the average person who's gonna read that book.
Right.
So when you read the book, it makes you look at yourself like, well, what's really my excuse?
Yeah.
That's how I interpreted it.
Unaccomplished. Still up on the grind, yo. Me still a tough it out. Me never born rich. Look to the sky, me soon start fly. I feel it.
Luho Jackals. Yes.
But yeah, man, you mentioned about the sneaker line.
Yeah.
How that going?
All right. I got on a pair now. I don't know if the camera can see. Lift my foot up so the people can see what's going on. You know, Luho Jackals and all that.
Sneakers are glisten.
Yeah, because it's supposed to represent Jamaica.
Yeah.
You know, on like music, I'm competing at the highest level. You know what I mean? So like high fashion, high-end fashion. It would be expected from a rapper or an artist to probably get a conventional pair of sneakers or something like that. You know, when the opportunity presented itself, shout out to Dino Martinez, the designer. You know, I worked with it, man, because they're handcrafted in Italy. Okay. You know, got snake skin, python on there, and all that type of stuff. And it's just, it's like, you got Louis Vuitton, you got Gucci, you got Prada, and us as black people, we love all that fly stuff.
Yeah.
By us, for us, super fly. You know what I mean? I got another pair on the way, the red ones, the Luho Reds.
Okay.
Got the zebra stripes on there. You know, the zebra stripes signifying just, in life you get different stripes for different things, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
You walking on your journey of life. Our feet is our number one and our first mode of transport, no matter if you on a bike or a skateboard or in a car, like you got to use your feet to get to it. And I believe we should protect our feet in style, because shoes is designed to protect our feet, you know? So protect our feet in style.
You hear that? Motor.
Some luxury stuff.
Motor walk barefoot.
Yeah, yo. It'll be dope to see him in a pair of my shoes. Like that'll be history, right?
Well, history, boy. History.
That might be like his first pair of sneakers. We could work on it.
Yeah. Well.
But Luho Jackals, man, they super dope. They're available on the Luho website. You know, everything is available. The link is in my Instagram. On Instagram.
Give them my IG handle and stuff.
At I am the Jakal, IMTHEJAKAL. When you land over there, man, that leads you to everywhere else. You know, quality music, quality everything, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, peeps.
Quality.
That was quite a story from the Jakal. But trust me, a very interesting story, and the Jakal have whole more work to do. A lot of good work.
Just getting started.
Yeah, man. So, Jakal.
Thanks for having me, bro.
It was a great vibe, man.
Next Friday, I appreciate y'all.
Jakal to do like a rap thing.
You know the vibe, man. You know the vibe, man.
Yeah, man. But it was great.
I appreciate you. Thanks for having me.
Respect. So, there you have it. Another episode of Next Friday. And remember to go share, like, subscribe. You understand? Ring the bell. Everything. Remember, say next Friday, every Friday. Yo.